running out of time. What will it take to get them home? Is it even possible? Joining me now to discuss is former U.S. Army Special Forces Green Beret Derrick Anderson. Derrick, thank you so much. Hamas has released 4 of the hundreds of hostages it was holding, likely as a stall tactic. Is it possible to negotiate with a group like Hamas, or is the Biden administration projecting false hope?
Good morning, and thanks for having me, Tom. I think it's the latter of the two. Right now, the Biden administration is showing weakness with his decision making. He's made he's put a few different red lines in the sand that he hasn't lived up to. Now, one of the things that I worry most about these hostage situation is the tunnel systems. We've seen that Hamas has hundreds of miles of tunnel systems spanning across Gaza. And more importantly, we've seen recently that under one of their major hospitals, they've got a massive tunnel system, arguably what we would call their Department of Defense, located underneath of the hospital. When these IDF soldiers, when these Israeli special operations soldiers begin clearance of those tunnels, it's going to be a daunting task. We've seen right now, it's been roughly 3 weeks that Hamas has had the ability to dig in and kind of get themselves ready with these tunnel systems. What I fear is that when the IDF and the Israeli Special Operations Forces start maneuvering up into those tunnels, the booby traps and or the IEDs that they're placing at the ingresses and the egresses of these tunnel systems. So it is going to be a daunting task. I have full IDF and their special forces, but it is going to be a tough task.
Yeah, you've trained with the IDF, and you know just how extensive this tunnel system is. And you're saying that there's really no way to go and do this without putting boots on the ground in the tunnels to try to surgically extract them.
I think that's right, Tom. I mean, if you look at it right now, the Israelis have been softening the target that is Gaza, right? They've been amping up their aerial and their artillery attacks over the last 48 hours. We've seen, a lot of explosions going on in Gaza right now. And I think that's laying the groundwork for their ground forces to begin their ground maneuver in. Again, though, with the aerial and the artillery attacks come rubble. It comes with obstacles that are going to impede their vehicles' movement and their clearance. So when they begin from north to south and start clearing Gaza, it is going to be a slow and arduous process. And at the end of the day, the Israelis, I do think, have the capability of doing that. But imagine, usually the Israelis have been able to go into these tunnels and they use this sort of foam and or they use explosives to destroy these tunnels. It brings another element, another factor in when there's hostages in there, 200 plus that are arguably and likely scattered throughout the strip.
In the event some of these people are not able to be saved, how do you manage expectations for the public and for those families now? Because that's also part of this, the communications war, the public relations war is almost as important as what's going on the ground in the battle in real time. So what do you do? Because I could very easily see dead hostages being now then used as an excuse for pressuring Israel to pull back from their right to defend themselves.
Yeah, and Tom, you mentioned it at the beginning of the segment. Hamas is going to use the hostages as propaganda. They're going to use whatever the Biden administration says and or any other person for that matter against the hostages. The reason why the Biden administration needs to be strong, especially at this time, is that there's no doubt that Hamas is watching TV just like the rest of us, and every show of weakness that we exude, and or the Israelis for that matter, is going to be showed to those hostages. And the only thing that those hostages have right now is hope. The only thing they have is hope of being rescued. And so at the end of the day, we need to continue to show strength and that we're willing to do what it takes to bring those hostages home. And to your point, the Hamas over the last 3 to 4 weeks has released 4 hostages. They're doing that to try to control the narrative. And it's important that we control that narrative so that those hostages know that we're behind them.
Yeah, Israel looks like they are doing everything that they can to control the battlefield and control the engagement, but you do also have to be able to control the narrative. Thank you so much for your service and for being with us today, Derrick.